Minions, and welcome to unMadeGaming. We are here, sans one Sam, who lost all of her internet powers. But we are here with the rest of the cast. We are here with Kai. We are here with Natalie, a.k.a. Chaotic Rogue. We are here with Keith, a.k.a. Material Components. And, of course, myself. It's your boy, me. Guys, this is a reminder that if you guys want to be part of the conversation, check us out in the Discord. And if you guys want to help support the channel as a whole, please go on and check out our Patreon. That's the best way to support us monetarily. And if you want to support this wonderful, lovely, beautiful, amazing cast that you see before you, check out that bottom right-hand corner of the screen where you will see the bar that's labeled Twist of Fate. That bar serves two purposes. When that bar is full, Keith gets to inject a, say it with me now, Twist of Fate. And the more important part of that bar is any amount of money that goes to that bar at the end of the month goes to these wonderful players. So if you guys want to support this specific cast, throw some money in there and make all kinds of crazy fun things happen. That being said, I'm done shilling. Turn things over to Keith. Keith, take us into Skysea.
Skysea! Welcome back, guys. This is of course our crazy homebrewed fate-accelerated world floating in the air above the planet of Umdaar. So it's based on the Masters of Umdaar Fate Worlds book by Dave Jaria and Evil Hat, and using fate-accelerated rule set. And yeah, we're channeling She-Ra, which I need to watch this new season that is out.
Have you not finished it yet?
No, I'm behind. No spoilers.
I haven't started it.
Oh my god, do it.
It's so good. It's so good. But also Steven Universe and Star versus the Forces of Evil are all grand inspirations in my heart. So,
I haven't seen any of those shows.
Oh, they're all so good. They're all so good. Check them out today. They're all on streaming stuff, Hulu or Netflix. But recap previously on Princesses of Skysea. We met in our journey to toward the mysterious rift into the Hyperwoods, suspended on the hand of Goddess Palm, the statue of this huge hand. We met a strange man by the name Mantor Malefax, who is a half mantis, half man, and a sworn defender of the Celestial Protectorate, who is sworn to protect the realms from the threat of the Hyperwoods. And before he swore that oath, had a fancy for Princess Poppy. And so we had a bit of a conversation with him. In the midst of that conversation, the Goddess Palm started quaking, and the rift that it held aloft into the Hyperwoods started to become unstable, and the cliffside that the hand was suspended out across the open abyss started to crack. So heroically, the heroes scaled up this huge palm, and as they were approaching the rift, they saw that there were some rift weavers. There were some weird robotic Hyperwoods spider things that were trying to close the rift with their webbing, and did grand battle. There was much spider smashing, and Poppy was nearly taken away in kicking and screaming in spider webs, but was all managed to survive and defeat the spiders, and the rift remained open, and the crew pursued the trail of using magic Hyperwoods mushrooms of some kind, if I recall correctly. They pursued the trail of the Queen of Poppy's Queendom, whose name I am blanking on at the moment, but who was seen in the distance in the Hyperwoods, and who Mantor was pursuing because she had, in the form of a Hyperwoods vampire, she had slain the high priest of the Celestial Protectorate, the aquatic region. It's I don't know, maybe it's more Game of Thrones than anything, y'all. It's a tangled web.
It's Game of Thrones, but it looks like Shero from Netflix. That's what
I think that scares me. That scares me slightly more.
It's terrifying.
Any story I end up telling ends up getting convoluted, and a lot of death and then horrifying things. For instance, what stands before the party at the moment, which is seen on the battle mat, is a gigantic cake beast that has emerged from the Hyperwoods. It was cloaked in the form of a boulder, and it decloaked. And its terrifying glistening cherry eyeballs all shine with memories stolen, with wishes stolen from your mouths as you made wishes upon cakes in past birthdays dating back to your early childhood. And
That's
you're
terrifying,
pinned.
Keith.
Yes.
You're a monster.
Yes. Happy birthday, Keith.
Oh, God.
Happy birthday, Keith. Here's a monster cake. Why?
Yes.
Why?
Yes. And the cake is, if you're like intrigued by this image, it's Scott Hove, Hove. You can Google Scott Hove, is a sculpture artist who makes horrifying cakes that I find to be inspiring. And so this thing has cornered the group up against the door of a huge temple that you guys were kind of sidetracked from the trail of the queen by because it was really interesting, and it had a big red exclamation point floating over it. It had a side quest alert floating over it.
Yeah, that
but
sounds like us.
but this temple was determined to be the temple of that was seen by Princess. Y'all, I am just like, I lost all my names at some point.
Oh, wasn't this? Didn't Dahlia see this and describe it
Dahlia.
in really bad poetry?
Yes, thank
Here
you.
we go. I remember some things apparently.
Yes. Dahlia, Princess Honey's sister, had wandered into the Hyperwoods and seen this temple, and it scarred her for some reason. Perhaps it was the site of one of the limbs of this statue of this temple. The temple takes the form of this goddess-like figure with many limbs, many arms. And a pair of these arms is holding a chain and has claws. So it perhaps was a great depth of jealousy that broke Princess Dahlia. But the statue also has the arms of the rest of our crew. We have one hand holding some glistening magic from Poppy, and the other hand on that set is broken off because it's the hand at Goddess Palm. All things come full circle.
What?
Even though for some reason it's very far away. But the Hyperwoods are weird and time travel strangely and all
very
that.
far away and gigantic hand.
And yes, and a bow and satyr hair, satyr legs, and gauntlet arms and long flowing purple hair. So this temple statue seems like a strange conglomeration of all of you. And so you approached it, and Honey, holding a bird from Hyperwoods.
She caught a bird. I forgot about that. Smashed into the temple.
Because we didn't want to touch it.
Yes, that made fax dial-up sounds as its beak opened. She thrust the bird up against the door, and in a bit of GM retcon, the touch of Honey's hand seemed to make some of the like strange runic glyph sigils light up on the door for an instant, but then all attention turned at the sound of the massive cake beast approaching from the other direction. And that is the recap. That ends our previously on.
I want to let it be known that I channeled my inner Vesper when I uploaded the audio tracks to Patreon, and the recap for last episode was, after the unfortunate death of a prisoner in the Badger Queendoms dungeon, the princesses and their companion go on a journey to find the rift that seduced Honey's sister into writing such bad poetry.
That is perfect.
She wandered around, found magic, wrote shitty poetry. Next episode.
Perfect.
Outstanding.
Oh, perfect.
So I assume this cake seems malicious, right? It's not just like a casual.
Unless the cake wants to be our friend. Like, hear me out.
Yeah.
What if this is a friendly cake and
Like,
it looks are deceiving?
Yeah, like I noticed that it has like dog teeth, and dogs are friendly. So like, you know, maybe it's a friendly bull-horned dog teeth cake.
It could be very friendly.
Is that not the case, Keith?
Keith's smile says yes.
Yeah, I think this is a friendly cake.
This is how we lose Wesley and Vesper.
Yeah. This is the show about how Poppy wins.
As you guys are frozen in shock and contemplation for a moment, and also because they arrive before you on initiative, some tendrils of smoke coalesce out of the air. The smoke is trailing out from the candles on this cake, and they're curling around in like the form of snakes, and they are lashing out and trying to grab hold of. Let's see. I just kind of threw you guys out there randomly, but
I mean, that's accurate. I feel like that's
pink is smoke. I tried to do the black, but unfortunately it wasn't very visible. So, so these smoke tendrils approach, and I want Poppy and Vesper to make some kind of defense roll. I think probably quick would make sense, but I could be convinced.
I just went for it. I should have waited until convincing.
Do you have a thought of what would be?
Oh, no, I think I look quick.
You want us to make a defense roll,
sweet.
And I defensively am afraid of responsibility. Just kidding.
Accurate.
All right, this will be against Poppy. We'll start with Poppy first, but all right, so I got a 4, and you have a -1. So this is creating an advantage. This is basically like wrapping around your legs, like it's like a constricting, like snake-like thing as the smoke is coalescing into like a substantial form.
Our stress healed from last week.
Yes. Yeah, I think you guys had a moment when you were just.
Oh, thank God!
Chilling. Yeah.
Because I just looked at me. Oh God.
Yes, yeah, all your stress healed, but I don't think anybody has any conditions, but those would not heal. Stress heals at the end of every scene. So,
okay.
So if you want to get closer to this, you could invoke some aspects. There are also some aspects out on the board. We've got overhanging, like to remind and reset the scene with aspects. We've got these overhanging strange digital branches from the Hyperwood trees. There are craggy boulders kind of all around this area. And then I have 2 aspects that are depicting kind of zones in this creature's form. This creature's so big that you could be moving around on its actual form in the same way that we were with the hand, right? So you guys are kind of at the base of this cake, and up towards the top there are candles and this huge gaping dog wolf maw.
This is terrifying.
Can I take one of the branches and like use it like a fan to try to like fan the smoke away? That's what I want.
I think so. So yeah, you're invoking overhanging branches,
Mm-hmm.
and you spend an aspect or spend a fate token to invoke it, and then that'll give you a +2 on that roll. So then you're up to a 1. It might be more worth it to use that to re-roll because you had
I'll re-roll.
Okay.
Well, not the second one.
The first one, not the second one.
I was gonna say that second one's no good, honey. That's not.
No.
Hey, Keith,
Okay. Go ahead, Mike. Sorry.
we hit the twist of fate.
Oh no. Okay.
This is the cake.
Yeah, I've never been so unhappy to pay my players than right at this moment. I'm like, oh no. Oh no.
Okay.
Really?
Natalie's
Natalie,
in
you're
the
robotic.
Hyperwoods.
Yes. Oh no. Okay, so a frozen robot too. All right, so Twist of Fate. I think you've definitely already kind of failed this roll unless you invoke a whole bunch of other stuff. But I think the Twist of Fate is that this has grabbed hold of you. It was going to create an advantage to just like entangle you, to like wrap around you, right? But I think in this moment of you like reaching for the branches and reaching for a fan, and a strange twist of fate, this smoke grabs hold of you and whips you up into the air, and so you are falling towards this gaping open mouth in this moment.
Oh boy.
Do I go again, or is it like an initiative thing where other people go first?
Yeah, it's an initiative. Sorry, I didn't really communicate that. But
who is in the initiative? What's the order here?
Vesper is going to go next. And
I did roll already, and I want to keep that 3 because that's positive.
Oh, right. And actually, yeah, I need to resolve that attack first. I'm sorry.
This is my dodge.
You had a 3. Awesome. This, yeah, here we go.
Oh.
Ooh, a tie. A tie on a created advantage is succeed at a minor cost. So I think in the process of this thing is like lunges towards you, and it's kind of unfurling in a freaky, I'm thinking like Stranger Things kind of like blossoming petal kind of fashion of smoke. And as it's coming towards you, you just lash out and punch at it and manage to grab hold of its throat and are like wrestling with it for a moment and manage to like disapparate parts of it, of this weird smoke creature. So it takes stress in response, but it has still created an advantage against you, which this is also just me showing you guys how advantages are created. Isn't that so kind of me?
Not the word I would use.
Yeah, that's not the word I would use either.
Okay, sorry, give me 1 second. I'm trying to copy a card that's not copying. So you're constricted by smoke snakes, which why is this?
Okay.
There we go. So when you create an advantage, if it's against like a particular person, you can just pop it on their card. I guess
Right now I'm constricted by smoke snakes.
Yes.
Okay.
And when an advantage is created, it creates an aspect similar to how we have like the boulders and all that other stuff, right? But it's a situational aspect, and it gets a free invoke on it. So they can basically, I can basically invoke it for free, right? Because I created it, and as long as it, you could invoke it if narratively you could justify it, but it does seem to be pretty stacked against you. So does that make sense? If you guys used your turn to create an advantage, you could come up with an aspect like this that you could invoke that someone else could invoke for free, or you could invoke in a future turn for free. It's setting yourself up for a free +2 roll. So mechanics, sorry.
I'm smiling and nodding, and you'll explain it about 3 more times before I go. So.
Okay, so this thing is wrapping around you, but you are fighting it, and it has suffered some stress.
Good.
And then now
I want it to be stressed.
It's stressed. Stress it out. And now it is your turn. So you're kind of in the throes. And you could, if you wanted to, and just giving you options, you could do whatever you want. But you can overcome to break free from this, to break any kind of aspect that's created against you. Or you can just, attack it, or you can create your own aspect, create your own advantage, whatever.
I'm going to try to overcome it because I feel like this will go poorly for me if I don't. I don't like the idea of, things being used against me like this. So Vesper is going to basically try it as she's like grappling with these smoke snakes. They're not snakes. I'm not even hungry, guys. I don't know what's going on.
Why was I?
There's a lot of Freudian things happening. We're being
Oh my
eaten by
god.
cake.
Can the smokesteaks be red vines instead?
Yeah. And so if you've ever watched like Disney's Hercules, when he's like a little kid and he ties the snakes together in a knot, that is what Vesper is trying to do to overcome this.
Sweet. Awesome. All right.
If you've never seen that, please go watch it. It's excellent.
That's a good
Yes,
description.
a classic.
What am I rolling?
I think that sounds like forceful.
Yes! I mean, what? Using my advantage. What am I good at? 4. Hey, that's awesome.
4.
That's pretty good. Let's see what you. Come on. What? No. Can I invoke? Can I invoke a thing?
Yes, you can.
Bodybuilder Barbie. Let's do this.
Nice.
Yes.
I am like pulling together my strength, my training. That is my go-to aspect, but I love it.
Yes, sweet. All right, so yeah, you grab hold of the parts of this thing that are still tangible and start to tie it up in knots and pull it apart from you. So you know you are no longer constricted.
Good. It's gonna tie us all up in knots like some weird cat's cradle, and it's gonna be great.
And Mike, you're
Damn
up.
it.
Wesley.
I'm ready for this.
Do it.
So remind me how invoking aspects works again. I spend a fate point and then I gain two things to my roll.
Yep.
Okay, dope. I'm going to use a stunt, which I believe I just say I'm going to use it. And my stunt is Memory Vampire. You can use your vampiric powers to steal memories from the mind of your opponents by carefully creating an advantage. And then once I can do that, I get a +2 for like everything. Because I have the memories of Cake Beast. Cool. So while everyone's got all tendrils and all kinds of bad stuff, Wesley launches himself at the cake and does what anyone would do with a giant cake.
Please
he
eat it.
begins
Please
to
take a
shovel. He begins to shovel cake into his mouth. I am draining the memories of this Cake Beast.
Yes.
So I'm going to give you. I believe I have to carefully craft an advantage. So I'm going to carefully craft it with careful, and I'm going to spend a fate point and use memories give me power as my aspect to make that a 2. I think that's
Cool.
correct.
Okay. And this is against the cake. So let me roll its defense. The Wish Thief Cake.
I'm gonna be a memory thief vampire, so have at you, Cake. Well,
You're not eating it very well.
Listen,
Keep going after like the crumbs. Or?
I wasn't very hungry, so I'm trying here. I'm trying. I'm going to. What's the negative thing? What's the one that's negative? The aspects that are bad for you. That makes your thing worse, doesn't it? That makes your roll worse.
The trouble you're talking about?
Yeah, trouble. That's what the T I wrote down was. Those are troubles.
Yeah, you could invoke trouble if you can justify it in a situation, but if you want to gain something from the trouble, that's compelling it.
Okay.
So that's like setting up a situation where you're kind of screwing up the party or the story based on your character's trouble.
Got it. Yeah, that wouldn't work. And I don't think I can activate any of these aspects that are on the board. They don't make sense to help me eat this cake.
Why can't giant fork be an aspect?
I know, right? Can I now make that aspect? Yeah, that's it. I'm eating this cake. That is my action, to consume cake.
I'm sorry, I rolled really well too.
You have been all night. Like 5s across the board.
Serious. Yeah.
Tone it down, Keith.
Seriously.
Okay, so with a failure, you can still succeed at a major cost, if you want. So you could take, I think, I'll say 4 stress in this process, and we could fluff it as that as you start eating this, it's like a caustic. The cake, the frosting is caustic to you as you're eating it.
I'm eating that cake. 4 stress it is. Yeah, so I'm eating cake. A la Marie Antoinette. I'm consuming the frosting, and it's just too sickly sweet, like the gingerbread house in Hansel and Gretel, and I cannot stop consuming it until I'm a chubby vampire boy.
Yes.
But in that, I have gained the memories of demon cake. So, additionally, once you've discovered an aspect about your opponent in this way, you gain a +2 to cleverly create or discover mental aspects on that opponent. I don't know what that means, but I did it, Keith. So
Cool.
I get
Okay,
a +2 to do something else.
Cool. So you're going to learn one aspect from it? Is that what it says at the beginning?
It says you create an aspect. You create an advantage, which is what I just did. Additionally, once you've discovered an aspect about your opponent in this way, you gain a +2 to cleverly create or discover mental aspects on that opponent.
Cool. Okay. So the aspect that you learn is actually its trouble, that the burning candles give it its strength.
Ooh.
Make a wish. Make a wish.
Okay. Dope.
And then you can create an advantage by planting a mental aspect into it. What do you think? What kind of like this seems like this is kind of wild, huh?
Okay.
And different than the memory thief.
I get to incept it. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, cool. So I'm going to incept it with the idea that it cannot consume anyone until that person has made a wish. Is that simple enough? Right? Because it's currently trying to eat Poppy. So it can't eat her until she makes a wish.
Yeah. Okay. Let's say wishes.
Wishes before,
make them eat.
Wishes before dishes is the...
Wishes before dishes. I love it.
Oh my god.
That's part of the grand joy of naming aspects in this game. You're like,
can
okay,
all
how do we...
aspects going forward just be rhymes?
Yeah.
Sure. Okay, and so this you succeeded at, so you'll have one free invoke on that. And you guys also know its weakness, which is an aspect, right? The candles give it strength. So if you can narratively justify whatever you're trying to do, the knowledge of knowing that the candles give it strength in order to give you a +2, you can invoke that, but you have to pay for it.
Can I invoke that for free? Is that how that works?
Anyone can invoke the wishes before dishes.
Oh no, I mean the candles.
Sure.
I was just asking. I don't actually know, so I was just.
That seems to make sense.
That makes sense, right? That's it for me. I consume cake and make everyone's life easier.
And I changed my mind about the caustic. I think there was definitely a bit of it that was caustic, but mostly what hurt you was that as you were eating it, you looked into one of these eyes and you saw a vision of yourself as a child and as a living child down on the planet of Umdaar, blowing out a candle and making a wish that you would someday be the best archer in the land of Umdaar. And that's what wrecked you. That's what wrecked you. That was the mental stress of that image.
I am stressed about it because I am the greatest. I'm the greatest archer in Skysea. Now I got to go back and say peace out.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Gotta go. I gotta go back to Umdaar. I gotta do some archery stuff.
No.
Peace out. Bye bye.
No.
All right. So the cake is going now, and then
No, it
Poppy
doesn't need
is
to.
up next.
Fine. Cake's to lie.
All right. The cake is, I think, going to create an advantage to try and swallow Poppy here. So Poppy, you can make a roll against it, and it's using forceful because it's extending a freaky neck out of the ground, like almost serpentine like. The dimensions of this creature are not clear and they're horrific. So
I can invoke the wishes before dishes.
You can, yeah.
I want to invoke that.
Go ahead and roll first. And actually, I rolled not great, so but I might invoke something.
Finally. Oh.
What? Does it matter what I roll?
You have to justify. What do you think? You're kind of falling towards this thing, and it is like lunging for you in a kind of weird snake-like fashion. So does it seem like
I want to cleverly use wishes before dishes. I want to shoot. I don't know, what can I do when I'm falling? I'm going to,
I mean, you can make up some crazy magic thing too.
I want to, some crazy magic thing.
You could
so hard
cleverly.
today. My brain is not working.
So you could cleverly wish, right? That which would damage it. Do something like wish that it closed its mouth, but that means you could still get eaten later because now you actually made a wish.
Yeah, that would be a thing to do or not to do. I'm going to do that. Why not? I mean, cool. I'm going to wish for it to close its mouth.
That's pretty
and
clever.
I want to land in, yeah, it's clever. And I want to land in fluffy frosting.
Perfect.
Cool. All right, go ahead and roll for me. Yes.
Bye.
Nice.
Awesome. And you don't even need to invoke the wishes before dishes because you beat it. And you succeeded with style.
I was going to say it's the good success. For lots of success.
That's
all. It's with style, but I never remember that it's with style. I just remember it's the really good success.
So with style, it's like now I have like, I don't know, a frosting hat or something, right?
I think well, succeed with style, you often get a boost. So we'll create a which is basically like an advantage that you can only use once. So I think you've got you're in a really advantageous spot on the face of this cake, right? You're not near anything that can directly reach you. You're well protected by, we'll say that you're right by the candles too, right? So I'm going to change this hurtling toward the mall to best spot on the cake.
It sounded like you said hurtling towards the mall, and I was like, all right, that's a whole different game we're playing.
I've been watching Stranger Things, and so like I am literally, that is where my brain's at.
That's the opposite for you.
You're an illusionist on the cake. How about that?
Yeah.
I'm thinking of like the little people on wedding cakes, but this is
okay.
Oh yeah, that's great. Except
go ahead.
No, I just want to be like, I want a tuxedo dress on top of the cake. So
yes,
perfect.
Yes. And we'll say you're like there. And there we go.
Perfect.
So that was Poppy. Or wait, no, that was me. I'm sorry. So now it is actually your turn.
My turn. I want to take my playing cards that I have, and they're like, I want to throw them and slice one of the candles in half. Cleverly. Sneakily.
I'm sorry, cleverly do what?
I want to sneakily use my throwing cards to throw at it and slice the candle in half, one of the candles in half.
Yes, that sounds awesome.
I like that you said, I want to use my cards that I have, right? Like, we've seen you use the cards a dozen times, which we haven't. It was like, I like to use the cards that I've had the whole time, that I've used in every episode. Such a pivotal class item that I just have.
Yeah, it was like Sam's horn on the Seekers, right?
Yeah. The horn that I've had this entire time. Like, wait, what?
I really have had them the entire time, but I did make it sound like no, I haven't. So I'm going to flick them at them like a weapon, like a throwing star.
You succeed with style.
I succeed with style.
Ooh, okay. So you're at a 6. I'm at a 5 right now with his defense. And I'm going to invoke something.
Oh, I want to say something super inappropriate, but will not say it.
This is a show for adults. You're fine.
I was gonna say that or just share it in chat. Like, take your.
Oh yeah. That.
Now the viewers know.
So you're like winding up to hurl this card, and I'm invoking hungers. It's one of its aspects, hungers for fresh wishes and dreamers. And so as you're like winding up to throw this card, you see out of the corner of your eye in one of these cherries, kind of like the reflection in an eyeball, you see yourself hurtling towards it, and you hear like your own voice wishing, close your mouth, like wishing the wish that you just made, right? And it really creeps you out. And so I'm invoking that aspect for +2, and this is kind of like the poker game of fate, right? It's like, how much do you want to pay to succeed on this? I'm just paying 1 token for that, but you do have cake face. You have an invoke on the cake face sparkler candles from Mike learning about the candles having the power. Probably he shouted something along those lines, go for the candles, and then you were checking for that. So you can invoke that. It's a free invoke that he created with his advantage, if you wish.
Poppy?
I do wish.
You do wish.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're winning by 1, and yeah. Drats. I guess I could cash in something else. Let's see. I'm sorry, guys. I keep having to flip between these windows.
Guys, hit that Twist of Fate bar again so we can get Keith a second monitor.
I have 2, but they're just very small.
We can get him 1 big monitor. So.
Okay, I'm just gonna let this go. So you're beating him by 1 right now, and yeah, this is all right. I think he's got basically 4 candles, and this totally cuts through this one, and you see the whole cake and his weird neck that's extended in the air all starts kind of quivering and shaking, and he screams out, and it screams out in a horrifying rage. As it's screaming, there's like cake frosting kind of flying off of it, and he has taken some stress.
Terrible.
Well, actually, I think he's taken a consequence by this.
Yeah.
A candle.
I think that makes it Vesper's turn.
Is it punching time?
No, it goes back to the smoke things.
Oh, that's
yeah,
right. I
those
forgot those
guys.
were their own thing.
I tied them up. I don't know what you're talking about. It's fine.
Yeah, right. They're in a knot.
They're just giant knots now.
All right, so the one that is it has been tied into knots. As you're like trying to get the final pull on the knots, they become rigid and sharp in your hands. So it's trying to wound you. I think sneakily. And so you can defend against that in whatever way you think makes sense.
On my screen, when you roll, Keith, it shows up as like a yellow block for like a good 5 seconds before the number
same.
pops up. And I'm like, this is terrifying. Just put the
I
number
don't know
on the
why
screen.
it's taking so long. Like, it's just like staring at it.
It's just
We're trying to be-
anticipation.
I know. It's brutal. It actually hurts me.
Is everyone else's going quickly? What?
No.
Yeah, everyone else's just pops up immediately. Yours takes like 5 or 6 seconds, and I'm like, oh, God, just jump out. Just scare me
Like
already.
it's thinking, and I'm like, no, stop doing that.
Don't think.
Don't think. Just go with it. Okay, so they're trying to be sneaky with me, is what they're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, it's not Vesper's strong suit.
They get handsy.
They get hands. Snake handsy. That's weird. No, that's not this kind of show, please.
What kind of show would that be for?
I am not finishing that.
There's place on the internet for that, okay?
This is not it.
I feel like we're fighting a giant cake monster. This is pretty much the pinnacle.
We're either going to get a lot of viewers from it or none.
Sorry, I swear I'm actually gonna try to move this. Can I try to be? I'm gonna say try to be quick and like kind of outdo them here, to try to grab them and stop them and like, because I've been like holding on to them more or less. Okay. So you guys, look, I can do more than just use force. Not great though. Can I invoke a something? I would like to invoke a something. Yes, okay. Jesus.
I have an idea if you want one. Invoke overhanging branches, and then you grab them and just sort of jam them up in the branches, so now they can't get you.
Yeah, actually that's perfect. So yeah, so overhanging digibranches, going to, as I've been holding on them and I'm trying to like be quick with them and try to outsmart their sneak, and then kind of just put them up into those overhanging branches to kind of get them. They'll stealth themselves silly amongst those branches and kind of like weave themselves. We're basically going to basket weaving at this point, but with these guys in a tree.
All right, I'm gonna be
about the metaphors tonight.
I'm gonna be contrary and invoke an aspect of theirs, because they are elusive and ethereal is one of their aspects. So as you're trying to tie it around this tree, like parts of them are disapparating and like turning back to smoke. You can invoke something else if you want to succeed, but right now you are one off because we're basically back to being tied.
Yep. So I've been trying to get them into the branches.
Or you can succeed at a minor cost, which I think would just be 2 stress.
That's a lot of stress, though.
Or I guess you're only losing by... Well, yeah, you're losing by 2.
I'd be losing by... Yeah.
Like, if 1 would make a tie, but 2 would make you succeed.
Okay. I am going to... Man, this might actually be the day, guys, where I run out of fate, because I'm just going to keep throwing it at this.
Do it.
Wow. I am actually... So, seeing that they're ethereal and they keep disappearing on me, what I'm going to try to do is then grab them and see if I can't shove them towards the horror show maw. That is the cake creature.
Okay.
And see if I can't get them to like accidentally put themselves where the mouth is.
What are you invoking for that? What aspect?
Oh, I'm trying to invoke horror show maw, which is on the...
Ah, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I'm using the environment here.
Yes, perfect. All right, so pay a fate token, and I'm not going to pay any more.
The girl's down to 2, guys. This is doing great.
And so this smoke tendril you've like grabbed hold of, and like we're struggling to tie it around this tree, and then finally, as this like cake maw has like turned to eerily face you, you've hurled this smoke thing into it, and it inhales, and for a moment. It sucks this smoke tendril in and then starts to cough.
It's starting to smoke. It's starting to smoke tendrils. That's a weird drug of choice, but okay. Don't do drugs, kids. Don't do smoke tendrils.
Don't smoke birthday candles, okay?
Don't smoke tendrils.
Yeah.
And so that thing is gone. That smoke tendril.
Good.
The other one, however.
No.
You know, I moved these tokens around incorrectly. That was like that, actually. This is Poppy. I know what I'm doing. Wesley, the other one is going for you.
No, I'm a good boy.
And it is as it's moving towards you, it seems like it's all concentrated in one form, and then they all split apart and then come back together in a freaky like lassoing kind of fashion to try and
terrifying
wrap around you, and you can make a defense of some kind. The hype of the yellow dot, a 2. I got a 2.
You know what? Wait, you can do an aspect more than one time per combat, right? Just not once, and just more than once in your round. Okay, cool.
Yes.
Cool. I'm going to cleverly defend against this. Wesley, who is now at least 20 pounds heavier, from cake consumption, hears the whooshing from behind him, and he turns around, cake frosting everywhere, eyes wide with sugar rush, and he Kirby's, and you just see him go as the snake monster comes towards him, and I'm going to try to eat the snake monster as well.
I like that you've become Kirby.
Yeah.
I like that that's what this has come to.
Yeah, and
vampire becomes Kirby.
And I succeed with style.
Yes.
Unless Keith does something crazy.
Unless he rolls well. In which case.
No, he rolled a 2. He rolled a 2 to my 5.
Is that, yeah, you did that. He is running out of fate. I only see a couple there.
Yeah.
I am. I know I only have 2. I get them back every scene, so that's a cool thing for the GM, but
No.
Can
I nope that?
Nope.
I'm gonna spend my fate to take yours away. What do you got for me, Keith?
I am thinking I want to compel you to take on a strange temporary consequence from this, that the smoke is living inside you for a time. And I will give you a fate token in exchange for that consequence, if you're into that.
Dope. Yeah, let me have it.
All right, cool.
Come on, Keith. I play Numenera. This is fine. Give me them intrusions, my dude.
Yeah, it's very similar to GM intrusion.
Yeah,
totally.
Fate point back.
Okay. So on your sheet under consequences, under the it's the bottom left, I think. Under mild, put the voice of the cake inside you.
Voice of the cake. Perfect.
So you inhale this smoke, and it completely dissipates as it goes into your mouth, into your nose, and then you hear kind of this eerie, echoing voice of several different wishes that you've made over the course of your living life as a human before you were a vampire. They're like echoing and overlapping over one another of like, I want a horse, like I want a riding lizard, I want a new bow.
I do want a riding lizard.
He probably also wants a new bow.
The new bow.
It's only so good.
The new bow was a fairly recent wish.
Yesterday.
I want that one now. I actually made that. I made that wish while we were playing this cake.
Yeah. What does the voice of the cake? What does the cake sound like?
I don't know. It's like a dipshit cake, right?
Come on, Keith. What does this cake sound like? What is the?
I want a bow. I want a riding lizard. I think it's just a distorted version of your.
It's the lady from Willy Wonka. I want to feast. I want a bean feast.
I don't care how. I want it now.
Oh my god.
This is a selfish ass cake.
And that's when we got into our musical episode, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
Yes. Well, the smoke tendril thing has been swallowed.
Good. Go away.
And now actually we're at Vesper. Or wait, did that just no? Yes. That was me. I'm sorry.
Yep. It should be Vesper.
So yes, Vesper.
Yeah, Vesper.
And then Wesley.
Cool. Vesper wants to smash. It's pretty much what she wants to do. So the tendrils are gone then, correct? Yeah. Can I just go smash the cake in the face? Okay, so you know those like cake smash parties? Exactly how Kaya said. Like little kids. That is basically Vesper right now. It is her first birthday and she wants to smash this cake.
Perfect.
Yes. Except it's like the size of a house, so you're just like plowing through it.
Pretty much. All I want to do is punch through this thing forcefully, and I'm going to use also my power gauntlet, which is the first time I forcefully attack in a conflict, because I keep overcoming. That's all I've been doing. I get to add +3 to my roll.
The thing about houses, Keith, is that Vesper's really good at making doors in them. So.
Oh yeah, you've got that stunt. I think that the stunt, it creates a. I'll just give you a +2 for that stunt because that totally makes sense.
Wait, what?
That stunt of like punching through walls that you have.
That's super strong. That's going through physical obstacles, but I have Power Gauntlet, which is the first time I forcefully attack in a conflict. I could add +3 to my roll.
Okay, we'll stick with one or the other. Yeah, so we'll do +3 on your so you're at a 5.
Yes.
With this roll here. All right, and Nightmare Cake is defending carefully. Careful is like kind of your tanky feeling, in case you guys were wondering. Yes. Perfect.
That's with style, unless you do anything about it.
I don't. I'm just going to take that. I'll take it in stress. Something you can consider is if you so the shifts, right? You've beaten it by
4 shifts.
4 shifts, yeah. So it's going to mark 4 stress, right? Is the difference between. If you were to decide that you really wanted to hammer this home, you could invoke some aspects in order to make the more stress be knocked off, right? You're doing more damage by having your roll be higher. If you wanted to do that, I'm just giving it as a...
If I wanted to... So I'd have to invoke more aspects to be able to do that, right?
Yeah, and pay fate tokens.
Yeah, you're doing this to the girl that's got 2 left. I see what you're doing here.
Mostly I'm just telling you guys options that you have, right?
Also, I feel like half of the, like most of my other aspects, except for Bodybuilder Barbie, are like emotional RP ones. Unless I'm waiting for this cake to betray me, or my jealousy of Poppy's magic can help me in this case. I could probably make it work, but I mean, it's a stretch.
Yeah, I guess not. You could also invoke any of the situational aspects.
Yeah, those are what I gotta look at. Some of these are so good.
If you can, for some way, make sense out of wishes before dishes actually helping you punch through this thing, then you can invoke that for free, right? Because it's got the A on it.
True. Can I then wall Vesper punch? Because that's just how this works. Vesper punch. She's going into just pound through this cake. It's now pound cake. You're welcome. She yells out, "I wish for you to stop." Yep.
Okay.
That's she makes a wish as she punches this cake to try to invoke the wishes before dishes. Would that work?
I find it to be a hard sell. How is it helping you punch harder that you're wishing him to stop?
That I'm hoping that by wishing for it to stop, I can kind of like, as I punch into the face, it starts to blow out some of the candles, like the wind from my forceful punch blows some of the candles out to actually do the whole blowing out of the candles.
Yeah, I'll buy that.
Okay,
but I think you'll have to pay for it though. That's the candle that you're invoking, right? The candle gives us power.
Yeah. I'll take that. I'm good with that one.
All right.
I'll just make a lot of emotional choices later that'll get me back some fate. It's fine.
Yes. So you like run forward and do this crazy uppercut into this thing, and cake frosting and pieces of this thing go flying up into the air, and it screams out and is writhing, and the pieces of this cake land in a heap and put out one of the candles.
Perfect. Good.
And it does not look in good shape, you guys.
Good.
Wesley is it has tapped out all of its stress.
Perfect.
At this point.
I am going to leap backwards in a super cool fashion, pull out Nayar, and I'm going to fire a super sweet arrow at the wick of the final candle. And I think is that clever? Is that how I roll? I think so. I think I roll with clever for my bow. Cool. So yes, I'm going to aim down sights for the last wick to try to blow out that candle, to snuff it out of existence.
Cool. Yeah, I think clever makes sense in this situation. I could also see careful or quick ever being used to shoot bows. You could kind of justify anything.
Yeah, a living bow is careful or clever on the sheet here. So 3 clever. Cool.
Yeah, with me.
I know the delay is just ruining my day. I'm gonna hopefully free invoke wishes before dishes, because as I loose the arrow, I say my wish was granted, and then fire the arrow because I am the best archer. Suck it, cake.
That's adorable.
Does that work for invoking wishes before dishes?
Cool. I'm into that.
Cool. So that's a 5 to a 4.
All right, cool. The last candle goes out.
Suck it.
Good.
and in a grand quivering, shaking explosion of cake, you guys are all plastered in hunks of slightly acidic cake, and cherries are crashing into the side of the side of the temple, and in the aftermath, there is just a smoldering wreckage of cake beast in your midst.
Okay, but by acidic, do you mean like acid or like lemon?
Lemon.
Yes.
Lime.
Still good. Still taking it.
It's
Better than acid.
it's a lemon poppy seed pound cake. You're welcome. Nailed it.
Vesper is just gonna eat whatever's landed on her.
It's actually strangely delicious.
Yeah.
Good. I'm so glad. You just see Vesper just trying to like
Just diving in the cake.
Yeah.
So
There's some on Wesley's cheek, and you lick his cheek.
but like I'm a dog or something like that too.
Okay. I can get it myself. No, it's okay. It's okay.
But it's good.
I know, but it's on my face. There's so much more everywhere else. I'll get it. That's okay. I don't need help.
Yeah, but it's not like right here, and she'll like point at the top of your head.
Okay, no, I got it. I know I dove face first into it. It's everywhere. Keith, I ate a snake. How's that going on? How's that going?
Is that like eating a tapeworm? Is that gonna just
Like, what happens now that smoky snake is all up in my business?
It is like speaking some negative wishes into your life. Like it's the voice, the editor voice, that terrible voice that we all have, that is like, you will never succeed. You are a servant to Vesper, and you will never be anything more than that.
Oh.
And it's just this kind of eerie looping in the voice of your bow.
Oh, so I'm not sure if it's Nair or internal snake.
normal?
Yeah. So Wesley's fine.
I forgot.
So
I forgot other people can't hear it. So it's a different. It's your childish voice. It's the voice of you.
perfect.
You and
It's
child. Yeah.
it is exactly normal. It is just like Nair picking on me, and I'm fine. I take 0 emotional damage. Great.
And you guys stand in the midst of the Hyperwoods, the strange bird, and Honey is just was AFK. And it's just holding onto this strange bird that's making fax machine sounds. And you stand at the base of the huge, crazy temple.
So that was weird.
I ate a snake.
I ate cake.
I did too. And then I saw that the cake monster ate the snake, and so it came at me, and so I ate it too. And it is not good.
You realize it only kind of ate the snake monster because I put it in its mouth?
Nope.
Okay. There's a song that I know called Don't You Put It in Your Mouth, and that's pretty much most of the song is don't you put it in your mouth, and you shouldn't have done that with the snake.
I didn't know that song, and I ate it, and now I have an upset tummy.
And
also, the snake tells me things in my head.
Oh, like what?
Pretty much the same things that Nair says. So,
Okay, so he's kind of a jerk?
He's a jerk.
Oh.
It's pretty normal in that case.
Yeah, it's pretty normal. Just kind of ignore it if you can. I don't know. Do you want me to be louder? I can be louder.
No, that's okay. That's okay.
Okay.
Poppy, did you have an entire wardrobe change in the middle of the fight?
No, it was just an illusion.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say that was really impressive. I don't know how you'd think of breakaway clothing. Should we go inside the temple?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. And Wesley walks over and touches the temple.
Isn't that what we were doing throwing the bird?
Well, we threw the bird, and then a cake monster attacked us.
Oh, yeah.
We kind of threw the bird at it, and the bird made weird noises, and then Cake Monster came out. So Cake Monster wasn't too bad. I mean, minus the weird snaky things. I don't recommend that. But yeah.
And they don't taste like cotton candy.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
And good to know.
They were pink and fluffy like smoke, and I assumed I was wrong.
Yeah. Wait, but I thought it was totally okay for you to eat things here.
It is. It just tasted bad.
And now it's giving you voices in your head.
Well, I don't think you're supposed to eat things that are alive.
I feel like you shouldn't normally, even if you're not in the Hyperwoods.
Well, I mean, I'm a vampire.
Okay, fair.
Hmm.
Wait, but I thought you just took the memories. I didn't think you ate things that were alive.
Well, I mean, I gotta, like, bite it.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's just biting. That's not eating. Do you eat?
Well, it was flying at me, and I ate the whole thing, and I got, like, you know, it was a whole thing.
It was, please don't do that again. I don't think...
I didn't know what else to do. It was jumping at me, and I was so full of cake, I couldn't go fast enough.
Right. Okay. Well, good luck getting rid of that later.
Thanks.
Don't know if vampire digestive systems work the same as the rest of us, but have fun.
Poop out a cotton candy snake. That's where this show's going. You did this, Keith. This is your fault.
This is completely Keith's fault.
Keith's like, it was my birthday. It was my birthday. Let's make him have
It was my birthday. I want a cake monster.
Yeah.
I want an evil cake.
Yeah.
Yes.
Rude.
I just got Roots and Pastry Chef's day with that, by the way. Anyway.
Does anything happen when I touch the temple?
Yes, the strange like kind of glyph like electrical circuitry runes light up a little bit around in the space around your hand, and they are a different color than Honey's when she touched it. It's gray, and hers was brown, just like your meeples.
Oh, I think we all have to touch it at the same time.
Okay. Wait, can I like somewhat forcefully sort of like leaves a bit of an imprint of
Yes, it's like the divot of your hand. It's a surprise. It looks like it's stone, but as you touch it, it seems like it might be a metal of some kind, like some kind of super high tech, intense metal. But yeah, you leave a small divot in it, and the rest of you all touch, and the space where all of your hands have touched all light up, and when the last person's hand has touched it, the circuitry all starts to grow and kind of tangle together until they kind of overlap one another completely, and then it is just like white, the lines, and then a rush of ancient air sweeps past you as the door opens.
Huh. It's a good thing we had all of us.
I know. What if someone else came here?
Man, if you only put like one hand on the door and it just didn't do anything.
I did that.
I know. It's like, man, do you need this many? That's a lot of people to open this up.
Somebody made a temple for us.
Whoa. How did they know we were coming? We didn't know we were coming until we jumped in.
Papa, you know how magic works.
Maybe it's not for us. Maybe it's just whoever's here.
Oh.
Why were we able to open it?
I don't know. Magic is magical.
That makes sense to me.
Sounds legit.
Magic is magical. You're right. And he just strides in to the temple. You got me. Magic's magical. I'm done. I'm in.
Yep.
All right, you guys step into this place. Are you checking for traps?
No, he just
kidding.
walks in.
I'm just kidding.
Has Vesper ever checked for a trap in her life? Poppy's the only one smart enough to actually try anything here.
Hot take, I'm never going to do traps, guys. Traps are so stupid.
Wait, wasn't that cake a trap, though? The cake felt like a trap.
Eating the cake.
Okay, you enter the temple. It simultaneously seems, when you first enter it, it seems like a huge empty space. The light of the Hyperwoods trees are like barely lighting kind of the fringes of this room. The rest is cast into some darkness. And you guys have some source of light. Poppy, do you have like a magical light source?
Could I just, like, I don't know, light a torch on fire Yeah, I'll do that.
Cool. So you light a torch and you cast into this room that seems like it's made of the same strange metal that the outside of the temple was made of, and it seems for a long moment completely empty. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. I was gonna say, if you touch the walls, is the same like weird electrical hand current thing happen on the walls?
Yeah, I think so. And then all of a sudden there's kind of a flicker, like the feeling of like a hologram, and or more accurately, the holodeck.
Wait, did we somehow get into Star Trek?
I'm just using the term to like bridge the gap, the mental gap. It's not really bridge. Yes. Just to engage your senses.
Wow.
And I'm done. I'm leaving. Bye, Keith.
Wow.
Sorry.
Trumpy, I loved it.
You don't know that I did the Riker maneuver into this chair before the stream started, too. Okay. Sorry. End of.
I'm good. I'm happy. We're good.
So there's a flickering of kind of a holographic space around you guys, and it seems like for a moment you're in a vast forest. Poppy, it reminds you distinctly of home, of your homeland, of the Satyr Queendom, and that's kind of the first thing that you feel, Poppy, when you see it. But Vesper, you see immediately among these trees people who look like your people. Though donning some really ancient, weird armor and weapons that look like old one tech, right? Like ancient world tech. And this whole reality kind of flickers into existence around you, into holographic existence, and then flickers away. And it's kind of going back and forth in a eerie kind of static sense that you're like watching some kind of future holographic program that is like experiencing static.
Are you guys seeing this? Because this is weird.
Are we all seeing it?
Mm-hmm.
That armor's really, like, not even last season, but, like, a lot of seasons ago.
Like of a show?
No, like, I'm thinking fashion here.
Oh. I wear the same outfit every day.
I know you do, honey. It's cute.
Thanks. That's why I picked it.
Yeah, that's not... I mean, I don't wear the conventional armor, but that doesn't look great for my people.
I just pictured Vesper as the only, like, Amazonian warrior who's like, no, I want the bikini. That's totally fine with me. Like,
That sounds like her.
the only one.
Nobody ever gets hit in the midriff.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah, except you watch it, have something hit Vesper in the midriff and it'd, like, bounce off her somehow.
Yeah,
Like,
because
you guys are all, like, clunky and bulky. No, I want the little one. It shows off these. It just starts posing.
Yeah, that's on brand.
So do we go further and, like, see what's down there?
Yeah, I should give you guys a little more information, huh? That was
they
kind of just
disappeared.
I have
I also like
One
how
sec.
Keith's voice went like 2 octaves deeper all of a sudden.
Yeah. Whenever he's got to get serious about something, he goes deeper, I've noticed. But I think it's related to Roll20 and, like, the work involved.
Oh yeah, I have to get focused, y'all.
Oh, I think it's
That
his
was
mic.
perfect.
I think it's his mic, but it's still just as good. You went from like normal Keith voice to like, this is now my DM voice that I am bringing out. It's like,
My sultry DM voice.
I'm fucking dead.
Perfect.
Good stuff.
All
So what
right.
what is down there?
Yeah, so there are several things of interest. We have these figures that are kind of this whole reality is kind of flickering in and out, but you see the figures, and they seem to be seeing you too. Their attention is turned towards you, and between each flicker, they seem to like be kind of approaching you or just like looking in your direction, but. I don't want to give you the sense that they're going to attack you or anything. They don't seem to be aggressive. There is also some things that you have noticed that are actually in this room, right? That are not holographic, that were not immediately apparent. There is as you guys are like walking deeper into the room, you see this ring of 4 thrones that are set in a circle, right, in a ring, and they're all facing into the center. And in the center is a floating crystal kind of orb in the center, and the thrones seem to have kind of they're very ornate, and they seem to represent kind of an ancient architecture of your peoples, right? Poppy, one that you recognize, looks similar to the throne in your queendom, which maybe, I don't know, what do you think? Antlers, maybe? Like, how would you describe the throne of your queen, of your mother?
Antlers, lots of flowers, scrolls, maybe, stuff like that.
Carven of like wood, perhaps?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
It looks much like that. And Vesper, what do you think your queen's throne looks like?
There's a lot of like weapons. So you'll see spears, you'll see shields, you'll see swords, daggers, all kinds of like weaponry, kind of all around it. Because the biggest thing that they pride themselves on is being able to be fighters. So that's going to be their jam.
Yes, yeah, totally. Iron Throne vibe.
yeah, pretty much.
and wigs. There's like some wigs hanging from sword handles.
A little bit of glitter, but that's really just like me and my grandmother that are like infusing that into our heritage.
Yes, and Mike, this is not necessarily like connected to the culture that you know, but how would you picture the throne of the planet of Umdaar, which is kind of locked in a lot of is like locked in a He-Man like struggle of like seeking out the artifacts and whatnot?
Yeah, it would have lots of angles because angles are metal, and that's how the 80s were. The more angles you had, the more manly you were. And point to me any throne that's round in any 80s like masculine cartoon, and you'll be wrong. They have like jagged spikes, or they're like angled like a dwarven architecture. Yeah, and I think they would have like, symbols of the realm, right? Like it would be like intricately carved. But because there's so many different, like, is there a king of Umdaar? Like just straight up Umdaar? Is that a thing?
No.
Okay.
There are regions and
so there's kingdoms like there are queendoms.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. So this one would be, like I said, it would be angular, and it would have a random skull motif because that's what I decided just now.
Perfect.
Yeah. Because also metal. Also, I think Honey's is just covered in hair. It's just a hair throne with bugs on it.
With bugs.
Yeah.
There is also a very there are in the flickering reality around these thrones, there are guardians of great stature that are all these Amazonian women wearing armor and with great weapons and whatnot. And there's also a figure that is like Poppy's people, a faun who or a satyr who is wearing like the garb of a scribe, and that figure seems to be kind of curiously following you guys around and mouthing, like trying to talk to you, but you're not hearing any sound from any of this kind of holographic reality. And there's a crystal orb in the center. You guys can inspect things if you wish.
I want to take the bird from Honey and put it in my throne.
Okay. You're gonna smash it into things.
You take the bird, and what are you doing with him?
Putting it in my throne.
You sit him in the throne, and he makes his weird sound, and then like scrabbles out of your feet and claws you, and like runs across the stone, but doesn't seem like it did anything.
I give the bird.
Oh my god.
This is why we can't make things.
However, up close, you notice at the top of the throne, there is like a groove where it seems like you would get the impression that a crown could fit into it, like at the head of the throne. Does that make sense? Like the crown would sit on the top of the back of the throne.
Okay.
Pretty cool piece to order online to, come in 2 pieces and you gotta, just missing one. That's nice checking out this orb, by the way, while this is going down with the bird and the bird. She kind of is like doing that whole, putting her finger right around the orb, hoping that it's one of those those plasma globes that have the
yes, a Tesla.
The lightning thing.
Yeah,
perfect.
That's what I'm hoping for, and that's what she is trying to make happen with it.
Well, yeah, then it happens because because reasons. So the purple bolt of lightning streaks into your hand and through your body, and for a moment, the holographic reality all around you shudders and then disappears, and you're cast into darkness, save for the torch and the eerie glow of the bird in the corner, and then a new hologram replaces it. This is the 3D map of a galaxy, right? You guys are suddenly standing in the midst of many planets and stars, and there's a lot of documentation going on. There's a lot of different colored lines, like paths that have been drawn in it, and a lot of notations and whatnot.
Does it look recognizable?
You get the sense that you're standing in a map of space, but that's not really a thing that your cultures are super, like, no one has traveled through space or whatnot. They've mapped out the stars, but yeah, after a moment of kind of moving around and looking at it, you recognize a constellation that you're like, oh, okay, this is our stars.
So is this just like a star map? There's no planetary bodies?
Oh yeah, no, there's planetary bodies as well. Sorry.
Okay. Weird. Hey, do you guys think we need to sit in the chairs? We need to all touch the temple for the door to open. Maybe.
Here's the thing. I know, Poppy, you were kind of saying that maybe this is just meant to open with, 4 of us. She did need to count for the record, Vesper. I want that known. I know you said it needed, 4 of us. And you kind of made it seem like it could have been any of us. But these seem oddly personalized.
Except for this one. That just seems like a chair.
Which one?
This one. And he points to the one that's like his chair, right? Because he's just he's not a prince or a princess, so he shouldn't have a throne.
Yeah, I think they are pretty personal. I guess we sit in them.
Maybe that one's for you, Wesley, because with your whole vampire-ness thing, maybe it's something that you don't know about being a good vampire boy?
but I'm definitely not in the hairy bug one, and I'm definitely not in the sharp pointy one, and I'm definitely not in the horned one. So I guess I'll sit in this one.
Pretty much. This feels like a fairy tale of some sort. This one fits just right.
That's a fun idea. And he hops in the throne.
I think you're going to start hopping between throne and throne first and play musical chairs.
Wesley, you can have my spot.
No, I'm going to sit in this one. That one's yours. Because of the...
Yeah, but I'm not really interested in the crown or the...
Yeah, but you have those all the time, so you can't really...
Well, yeah.
Also, the crown's not... It looks like there's supposed to be a crown on these things, but they're not actually there. So, I mean, we don't really have to worry about that part.
Yeah.
It seems like each throne has a slot where a crown would fit.
Yeah. But there's no crown, so we're good.
The seat, Wesley, is very large and imposing. It feels strangely comfortable, but you also notice that there are like buttons on the handrests of the seat.
If these turn into massage chairs, I'm going to be so excited.
Wesley finds the buttons, and then you see his, he looks around. He says, okay, guys, I have good news and maybe bad news.
Maybe bad news?
Maybe. The good news is this chair is very comfortable and has buttons. The bad news, boop, and he hits one of the buttons.
You guys all hear a voice coming from the chair, a robotic voice of
Mr. Roboto.
Domo.
As long as it doesn't turn this into like a bidet somehow, I think we'll all be fine. 3 different thrones.
Yikes.
You're welcome.
Detecting, analyzing, persona confirmed, crown required.
Oh.
Welcome, Shattered One.
Oh.
That's is that a nickname for you, Wesley?
This is an emotional roller coaster.
No, it's just a chair. It stayed in one spot.
And actually that voice came from when it was like, welcome, Shattered One, it came from all the chairs at once.
I'm just a regular boy. I have all my parts. I'm not shattered. I don't have a crown, though. You guys should sit in your seat and press the buttons.
Okay.
Okay, Vesper Cosa does it.
Skips over to it and just jumps in her seat and presses the first button she sees.
Yes, it's much the same. Analyzing, detecting persona. Persona confirmed. Welcome, Shattered One.
Okay, I guess we both have that nickname of Shattered One. That's weird.
Poppy, what about you?
Yeah,
Hit
try
the
it.
button.
I'm going to walk over to mine, but as I'm walking over, I'm gonna... What did you two get me into? I was just supposed to help with the Badger Kingdom, and now I'm here, and if you guys get me into responsibility, it's gonna be your guys's.
I came to see the circus.
And
it's like sometimes, Poppy. Come on.
I'll sit down and press the button.
As you're moving towards the chair, you notice one of the planets in this kind of huge constellation star. You notice the word Shattered One by it, and it kind of just sticks like in a weird deja vu kind of fashion. And you look again, and you see kind of an icon, a meeple of some kind on this planet that looks almost exactly like the statue of the temple that you're in. And there's some like metadata by it that says Goddess Umdaar, state shattered.
I point all of that out, and I'm not going to repeat it to everyone else.
So I'm a goddess?
Yeah, you are, buddy.
Neat. I skipped right over Princess and Queen.
It's the only way to go.
That's pretty intense. Oh, man.
Yeah, this... Huh. This is interesting.
Are we putting together like a giant robot? Like,
Keith just
like-
made us Voltron.
yeah.
Keith, have you
Maybe.
There's the plot unfolds. Episode 4, we're secretly playing Voltron the whole time.
And then there's just Gnome in the corner jealous because I remember him talking about this recently.
He's so mad about it.
He's so salty.
Perfect.
Nobody tell him.
I'm telling you, I'm going to text him right now. Low-key playing Voltron. Oh, man.
Do I get that impression for real, so? I do.
Yeah, so
Oh, okay.
moving closer, you can click or something on the planet and get more of a close up, and it's detailing the planet of Umdaar, and you're seeing last known location of the shards of the goddess Umdaar. And is like one piece of information that it's showing, and the different regions that make up your respective countries have like an icon at each of them as the last known location of shard of the goddess Umdaar, right? And all around in various different places on this map, you're seeing these like black bubbles that you get the impression are like the Hyperwoods, right? And there's even a kind of a note at the bottom of this information that's saying, invalid data, like please refresh or something like that. But then it's saying like diagnosis, Hyperwoods infection imminent. And then glancing around, you're seeing that same, you thought it was just kind of the background, but you're seeing that same kind of weird, dark, bubbling feeling across all of these different planets in this map.
I'm not sure this is something we should be doing.
What do you mean? If things
Like-
are missing, maybe we should put it together.
And then create a giant monster that for some reason is apart.
I mean, also, like, if the Hyperwoods is an infection, which it totally is because it's real bad,
Yeah.
and the Hyperwoods is what made your mom kill a guy, we should probably figure out that whole
Fixing
thing.
Hyperwoods? / getting it to stop doing that? Because it keeps doing that to a lot of people. Like, it's making a lot of people kind of bad, and it's really not good.
Yeah.
Like, I get a little worried being here. This is... Can I just start pushing a bunch more buttons on this chair? How many buttons are on this chair?
Yeah, it just keeps saying, welcome, 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 Shattered One. Welcome, welcome.
I make a remix version of Welcome Shattered.
Yeah, because, like, Evan's song became a vampire, and then Honey's sister wrote terrible poetry, and then your
Which is
mom...
kind of like... Oh, no, that's not like becoming a vampire. I haven't seen you write any poetry.
It's kind of like becoming a vampire, but
Oh, okay.
worse. And then, Papa, your mom totally became a vampire, too, and, like, killed a guy, and that...
What if they came
Praying-
in this temple and that's what made them this way?
I don't think they could. I think the temple only opened for us.
You don't think the temple changes for the person looking at it?
But they were by themselves, Poppy. We weren't.
Hmm.
And like there was 4 thrones here for the 4 of us. Honey, you're so quiet today, man, girl.
Plus, we had the bird, and the temple didn't change to be us 4 and a bird.
It's true. That bird just made really weird noises. Still making that weird noise. Oh, it's part of the remix now.
Shattered one.
So we're all sitting in the chairs, but it's not doing anything now?
Yeah, I'm not giving you guys quite the information I'm trying to but
I'm sorry.
it's like waiting for the key, and the key is the crown, right? It's like it's confirmed your identity, but it won't do any commands until you've put a key in the ignition.
We don't have the crowns.
Do we have to go get the crowns? Are we going back to our places, respectively?
I mean, I think we should all go together.
Well, yeah. I don't.
Yeah.
Also, Wesley, how likely is it that we can find this place again? Because I know you said the Hyperwoods are like really mixed up and confused and stuff.
I don't know.
Also, would we have to fight a cake thing every single time?
No, only on my birthday.
I won't. If we do, I won't eat the snake.
Yeah, please don't eat the snake. We'll learn from our mistakes.
You will never be anything, Wesley.
Rude.
Oh, sorry, that was the snake this time. Yeah. So I mean, does your mom like wear the crown, Poppy? Because that's probably gonna be the hardest one.
Yeah, because that one's on the move.
Yeah.
Does your mom wear the crown, Keith?
Yeah, I think she was wearing it.
We could just bring my mom back. I really don't want the crown. We could just go capture my mom and bring her back, and she can sleep in the throne.
I don't think you have to. I think she's like a bad guy.
I have an idea. Poppy, you know what's like more like your crown than an actual crown? Your hat. Try putting your hat on.
Oh, I'll try it. Best part, I'll give it a shot. And I'm gonna sit down and put the hat, like try to shove the hat in the crown slot.
That's perfect.
It doesn't fit.
I'm gonna put a little bit of like magic in there too, like just like a little like sparkle of magic, like.
She shrinks it to make it fit.
Yeah.
It fits, but it doesn't do anything.
I was hoping it was more of like a metaphorical crown than the actual one, but I guess not.
I like the idea of finding all the crowns and everything. And like yours is gonna be super easy, and Honey's is gonna be super easy, and like Poppy's is gonna be a pain. But also, I don't have a crown.
Yeah, that one's kind of confusing.
Yeah.
I mean, apparently you do, which is really exciting for you.
Maybe you need to marry a princess somewhere out there.
Yeah, but that's still not how crowns work, because then the crown goes to the queen.
Yeah, it does seem like very specific, like the crown slots. You guys recognize, like, this is the shape of, Vesper's throne has the shape of Vesper's mother's crown. Like, it's not like a generic crown shape. It's like the specific crown with all the magic stones and whatnot in it that you've known since birth. But yeah, the shattered.
To, like, poke a couple of times, I'm sure, as a child, and got in trouble for.
Yeah, dropped it and it rolled down the stairs, and
it's because I was playing
with stuff. I have a weird idea.
Okay.
And it's been 50-50 so far, so.
As long as it's not like the eating the snake idea, because I'm gonna stand by my previous song of "Don't you put it in your mouth."
It's just like that idea.
No.
I will eat you, Wesley.
And he stands up and says, "Okay, guys, this is gross, but don't judge me." And I lick the circle where the crown goes, as I try to absorb memories from this rock.
That's brilliant.
I really like that. Give me a roll. We should roll dice.
Oh, no. I think
that Keith said that he really liked that in such a deep voice. He was like,
It's gonna be funny when Keith listens back to this and he's like, "What was going on with my voice?"
I don't know. I'm sorry, guys.
It's great.
It is great. I think it's fantastic.
I'm gonna roll clever. And I roll a 6.
Oh, boy.
Whoa.
I lick all the things and no.
Freezing.
It's like back to Game of Thrones. I lick and know things.
Oh boy, Wesley's catchphrase. This is weird.
You're welcome.
Okay, a juicy.
Freezing on this one.
Someone give that.
A juicy memory. All right. It's the midst of maybe an earthquake or maybe a terrible firefight. But this is all in the perspective of this stone chair. And you see, because, right, you're stealing memories from this chair.
Yeah, you got me. Like it's in a throne room and it's just like a window far away. And just like.
Yes, and some really grand, magnificent figures that you guys will have to.
You know what, Keith?
Sorry, go ahead.
Before you stay tuned, we filled the bar again. So feel free to end on a twist of fate as I lick this throne.
Okay.
A line that's come out of anything in a while. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna lie.
I'll make this super juicy then. All right, so
real delicious for you.
A lick of fate.
Yes. I think you killed Mike. It's fine.
All right. Focus. We're in this throne room. Right, and there's a firefight. There are 80s lasers being exchanged back and forth. There are laser wolves attacking Amazonian guards left and right. They're fighting, fending back. They're creating this like ring of blades as they're backing towards the thrones. And then 4 figures emerge from this chaos that look exactly like you guys. And they move towards the thrones. They're wearing these crowns. They each at the same time put their crowns in place, and the whole temple starts to quiver and shake, and you hear the sound of "Welcome, Shattered One." And they all like punch some commands into the armrests of their seats, and then they raise their weapons in the air. And with a great flash of light, they merge together into the figure of the statue that you have seen outside. They like do the fusion dance and push together, and a big flash of light, and then they are this radiant, many-armed goddess figure. And the thrones kind of swivel together. The ring closes until it is like one kind of weird amalgamated throne, and the figure sits down, and get this lurching feeling of the whole temple taking off.
I think that's a great point to wrap this. Like, salty.
I like that it was salty, not spicy, not anything else. We're going.
I mean, it's a stone, right? It's a dusty stone throne, so of course it's gonna be salty.
It's actually Himalayan rock salt.
Yeah, it's a pink power salt.
Right.
Did Wesley just lick the future? Is a comment from chat. Well, guys, we're the princesses of Sky Voltron, so. You know, so this is gonna happen.
Not sorry.
Yeah, like I want like a Power Ranger coin to put in my little thing and do the opening thing. Oh, this is gonna be super cool. Yeah. I think that's the perfect spot to wrap this episode on. That seems like the most dramatic thing. So yeah, let's go around to our introductions and deal with the fucking weight of saving the galaxy. Keith, who are you? Where can we find you? And what are you up to?
Yeah,
Jeez.
I'm Keith. I'm the GM of this wonderful wreck of a show. And yeah,
it's not a wreck, it's brilliant.
Oh, thank you.
I love it. This is great.
Go on. Yes, at Keith Arpatempa is my author educator Twitter, Instagram, whatever account, and you can find more about tabletop role-playing games at mcomponents on Twitter or at Material Components on Twitch, Instagram, all the other stuff. I am involved in a after-school program here in Nashville, teaching kids tabletop role-playing games and nonviolent conflict resolution and heroic morality, all that good stuff, using a Powered by the Apocalypse system of our own making for that purpose. Play tested for hundreds of hours by kids 6 to 12 age range, and yeah, about to start the next season and a new revision of the game, and it's awesome. So if you're into that, check out theheroesguild.com or materialcomponents.com and sign up for things and follow us and all that.
Hell yeah. Let's jump over to Natalie. Who are you? Where can we find you? And what are you up to?
Hi, I'm Natalie, also known as Chaotic Rogue. You can find me on Twitter at Chaotic Rogue. That is the easiest place to follow me and figure out what I'm up to. I am part of the Mage College, which is a group of content creators who do a lot of creating homebrew stuff for D&D 5e. We just came out with a new Ranger subclass today on our Patreon. So if you belong to that, some really cool stuff just came today, which is awesome. I am also on a bunch of other streams, but actually I'm not on them in for a little bit. There's a break right now. Follow me on Twitter. That's all of my new stuff right now. That's the Mage College stuff is the most exciting stuff right now. So I'm sticking with that one.
Sweet. Last but not least, we'll jump over to Kai. Who are you? Where can we find you? And what are you up to?
I'm Kai. I'm Stone Fire. You would think that after
That like a spell. I'm convinced.
I even had a wand. You would think that after I've been doing this for like a year that I would figure this out, and I still haven't. Anywho, I am Stonefly_Kai on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, and I paint minis and do character art on my Patreon, and I play on Kobold Press on Sunday, on their Twitch on Sunday, and follow me on Twitter if you want to see what I'm up to.
Hell yeah. Go check out those minis and the paintings. She's way more talented than any of us are. And that like tropical griffin was super dope. Super dope.
Thank you.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
It's so cool.
Like,
Thanks.
I was like, that's way cool. And I'm never going to paint anything because it's never going to be that good. It's going to be like orange, the whole thing. I'm like, nailed it. Yeah. Guys, this has been Princesses of Skysea. If you are just tuning in now or you're missing the show, it'll be live as a VOD on Twitch and it'll be up on YouTube in a few days. If you want the audio version, check it out on Patreon. Our Patreon has all kinds of fun stuff, background stuff, behind the scenes things, all the audio formats of all of our shows, past and present, and a bunch of other fun things like movie night and all kinds of cool stuff. So go check that out. If you want to join the conversation,
Movie night?
I do. It's a
What is
Patreon.
that?
It's a Patreon thing.
That's
we have
cute.
a movie night and we all watch movies together and
That's
we
precious.
snuggle and eat popcorn.
That's
It's
adorable.
at my house. Yeah, you guys just come on
That is
over
just-
and we just look. You're so upset about this right now that you didn't know there was movie night.
night?
Yeah, you
What
can
is
you
the
can
next
come.
movie?
Join the Patreon.
Join. You gotta join the Patreon to find out. Yeah, we have a room in our Discord for it. We talk about all kinds of other stuff. That being said, go check out our Discord if you want to join the conversation and talk about this game and post your GIFs and post your clips. And then with that, we're gonna go raid one of my favorite human beings in the world, the Bubbernaut, because he's a lovely, lovely boy. So stick around, guys. We're gonna go raid him and do all kinds of fun stuff with that guy and give him all of your hot, sticky raid love. And from all of us to you guys, bye bye.